Have you ever torched a friendship and then not regretted that you're not friends with the person, but regretted the way that you did it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're impulsive, like
Yeah.
say something real, like a headshot, and you feel kind of bad about it, but you're probably on your way to not being friends anyway.
I felt bad that I said a few things that I should not have said, but I think sometimes in this society, honesty is people recognize honesty as an attack, especially when it is worded like an attack.
Mm-hmm.
But but I do think that people, to be an honest person is, I hate to say it, but it is kind of revolutionary in a city like Los Angeles, where many of the people you're dealing with are mentally ill. They're insane. So for you to say something that's based in reality throws them, for a loop, and then they're angry at you. They're mad at you. They're mad if you suggest something that's reality based.
Right.
If you suggest a solution that's based in, any type of reason, or, people just look at you like you're a dick. They're like, that guy sucks, that guy's a bad person because he chose to puncture, this little bubble of insanity that I've built that I cannot have punctured. I just have to.
Mm-hmm.
But I did feel bad because I said a few things that I regret. And I think that's what happens, unfortunately, when you let stuff build up. I think that's what happened with OJ. I think it's what happened with a lot of people that should have addressed those issues earlier and didn't. But why is OJ the most well-adjusted person on Twitter? Why is he looks good, plays golf, seems happy, has pretty decent stuff to say about the Democratic debates, has pretty good analysis? Why is that? Because he came and he did, he's had a wild life.
Yeah.
Think about OJ's life and think about Donald Trump's life, right? These guys have had wild lives. OJ was a star running back, movie star,
mm-hmm.
maybe murderer, got away with murder. He was like the toast of LA society, got away with murder, ended up going to jail for like stealing. What did he do?
He stole his memorabilia back from a guy that was selling his memorabilia.
And now he's out. He's in, the golden years of his life. He's playing golf. He looks good. He's,
he's free. He's got nothing to hide anymore.
He's free. He's got nothing to hide. I mean, all in all, let's be honest. Is it a bad life? Let's be honest. Look at O.J. Simpson's life. He's experienced everything. He's really experienced everything. Everything that the highs, the lows.
Yeah.
He cut off someone's head almost. He nearly decapitated somebody that he did not like, that he was angry at. Many of us, when you're angry, what do? You got to shove it deep down because you don't want to get fired. Some cunt walks into fucking Starbucks or wherever you're working, starts being demanding, and you want to throw hot coffee in her face. You want to scold her. You want to just see her, collapse like the witch in The Wizard of Oz. I'm melting. But she's not melting. She's burning because you threw coffee on her, and she's got at least second-degree burns on her face, and she's screaming. And her child is there, but her child isn't crying because the child is actually also kind of happy that the mother got it. And the child is kind of has that quizzical look on its face. Like, is this justice I'm witnessing? Is this my first experience with divine justice? This guy that just threw hot coffee in my bitch mother's face. But you can't do that, right? So you stuff it down, and then you drink, you smoke, you do whatever. People, you eat unhealthy. And you stuff it down, you stuff it down, you stuff it down. OJ walked in. He saw something going on that he was not a fan of. And he made the choice to not stuff it down. He made the choice to take action. And listen, I don't know Nicole Brown Simpson. I did not know her. I did not know Ron Goldman. I was a child, and I lived in New York. And I do not condone murder. I want to say that because I think a lot of people listening right now are confused, and that's fine because life is confusing. I think many people are starting to realize that these absolutes are not really serving us, to be honest. And I think we need to start re-examining these situations.
Mm-hmm.
But what OJ did probably felt really good in the moment.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
It probably felt really good in the moment to cut off their heads.
Yeah.
Now, immediately after, he probably was like, well, that was a lot. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that was too
He
much.
felt a little bad, you know, but
And then he
ending the
had to
friendship.
go. Well, then you know, you start thinking about self-preservation. But what I'm saying is, let's just look at the life. Let's not focus in on any part of his life. Let's focus out and go, what a life. When he's on his deathbed, he could say, I've done it all. I got away with murder. I was a movie star. I was the toast of the town.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he's a remarkable figure.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't want to use the word hero because it is, and don't stop with the violence against women shit. He killed a guy too. Don't start with me with this. He killed a woman. What about Ron Goldman?
Yeah.
You get Donald Trump, crazy life. Millions and millions and millions of dollars. Been at the apex of a certain type of society. He was never like in the inner sanctum of New York society, but close enough. He was that new 80s, billionaire, mega, a business magnate that courted fame, like a wrestling heel. I think owned the Miss Universe pageant. Was it Miss Universe? Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Miss Universe owned multiple casinos. I mean, a truly extraordinary life. And again, and now the president of the United States. This isn't good or bad. I'm not looking at the morals of any of these situations. I'm just zooming out and I'm going, compared to the experiences that most people have on Earth, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you were to have a museum of great lives, and I don't mean great in the sense of like they dedicated their lives to making the world a better place, but just great lives, like where you look at their life and go, oh shit,
that's awesome.
Donald Trump, O.J. Simpson, people like Cardi B, who was a fucking stripper who was drugging people in Miami, some fucking guy that looked like me in a hotel room exactly like this, waking up going, where the fuck's my fucking gold card? And Cardi B was fucking cutting lines with it by the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And now, she's, has had the #1 song. I mean, these are wild lives. Jeffrey Epstein. You want to talk about a life? Let's talk about a life for a minute. Okay? Ran an international sex trafficking ring, a minor for children, not for children.
It was for children.
He was not for children. With children. He ran an international pedophile ring, sex trafficking ring, and he had some of the most wealthy, famous and wealthy people. The guy had multiple residences, multiple properties, had connections, had access, maybe worked for the CIA or the Mossad. Nobody knows. I will say this about Epstein, though. What I will say is, like, all you idiots that are like, oh, we worked for the Mossad. Yeah, it's very possible he worked for the Mossad. But are you telling me, and the Observer wrote some article about this where they're like, well, I bet it's, CIA wouldn't tolerate this. He's working, he was a spy, but we don't know what, who he was spying for. We don't know who he was spying for. So you're telling me that Jeffrey Epstein is compromising high-level U.S. politicians, people from all over the world. He's working with the Mossad, and the CIA has no fucking clue. A bunch of fat guys in Ohio with Wi-Fi who can get on Reddit seem to have a pretty good idea. But the Central Intelligence Agency's just got no fucking idea of what Jeffrey Epstein's doing. How stupid do you have to be to believe that? Anything to let this country off the hook. Mm-hmm. Anything, any logical jump. These people will jump through fucking hoops to just let this country off the hook and go, well, no, this is not our intelligence people. Mm-hmm. Our intelligence people are saving us from bad guys all over the world. They're not participating in this. They wouldn't dare. I mean, but that's the thing, man. I regret what I said. It was unfortunate. You got to move on. You got to get rid of friends. You got to get rid of close friends. You have to cancel your friends and family. It's so easy to cancel a stranger. So many people are like, oh, let's cancel this celebrity. You know, how about no, cancel your father. How about that? Okay. You want to be a tough guy? Cancel someone you love and you care about, but you realize they're not loving and serving you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need. You need people in your life that love you, but are also willing to serve you. Do you think I'm wrong about that?
No. I mean, it's funny to just say out loud, you know.
I don't know why it's funny to say out loud. I think because a lot of people believe truly that they are worth nothing and they're correct. And those people are, they have a slave mentality, you know? That's why, like, I believe we should all have health insurance, but the reason I don't get on board with socialism is because, like, I look at people out there and I go, I don't really want to be associated with a lot of them. I feel like a lot of them shouldn't be here, but they are. And I don't mean in America, I mean on Earth. And I believe we should all have health insurance. I think we should all have some kind of social safety net. But I don't like collectivism. I don't embrace collectivism because I feel like many of the people on the planet simply shouldn't be. They're accidents. They're biological accidents that are here. They're breathing and they're taking up space and they're consuming resources. But what do they generate? They're not generating anything, and then people say, oh, that's inhuman, blah, blah, blah. Go scratch, It just, we need to go back to the times of radical individualism, where the way I feel, radical individualism is a concept where you would radically be an individual. And if you're really being an individual, you won't have a lot of friends. Your social circle will shrink if you start doing and saying the things you want. Don't worry. You will not get invited to places if you just put it out there. Now, the more and more you keep it in and you bottle it in, the more and more people are going to have you come. Because they want you to sit around and be like, oh, did you go to Anguilla? Did you go to Anguilla? Was that nice? But if you go out there and you say things like, why can't I fuck my cousin? Or you say things like, I don't know why, but there's something comforting about OJ. There's something in his eyes that feels at peace. If you say that in mixed company, OJ's eyes are at peace. When you look at him, he feels like he's at peace. If you say things like that, the invitations are going to dry up. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You don't have to go along with everyone's horseshit. Find somebody to fuck, get a pet, have a friend or two, and then move the fuck on. Enough. Enough with cocktails after work. Nobody needs that. Sitting around with a bunch of people. Get out, get away. Leave society. And I believe this is a message that many people don't, because everything is collective now. Everything's based on but nobody really feels that way. Everybody's pretending to care about other people, but nobody really does in their life, because they all go on Twitter and talk about how important it is that everybody has health care. But then their parents are rotting in some home, or they haven't called their brother in 8 months, or they don't really give a shit about their nephews or nieces, or they're barely good to the people that live in their surrounding area, their neighbors. They don't care, but they put on this idea that they give a fuck about other people. No, I think it is very empowering and liberating to get out there and say, I believe that we shouldn't be fucked by these large corporations. We should have, kids should have food, They should. Not a lot of it. Not too much.
Yeah,
I mean, it's reality.
the right amount.
You give them a nutritious meal. They'd still be hungry. Here's the thing with all these kids that are hungry. If you gave them a nutritious meal, they'd still be hungry. Like if you gave a kid vegetables and a meat, they would still go to bed hungry with a headache, like I do, because they didn't get to have a whole cupcake the size of a basketball, because that's what they're all used to. A lot of these kids are just used to eating fucking Fun Dip and ketchup milkshakes. And then remember Michelle Obama Tried to get these kids to eat healthy. There was a literal riot. There was a riot because she's like, how about you eat healthy? And then because kids start going insane because food and addiction to sugar, which a lot of people in this country have, I have it. If I don't have sugar, and this is why I'm trying to cut it out, but I get headaches. I start getting angry at people irrationally. I start getting angry at people that I haven't seen in forever. I start wishing horrible things happen to them.
Ending friendships.
Yes, but I also I'll lay in bed sometimes and I'll imagine someone getting killed. I'll imagine all the different ways that someone could die. And then I'll have a slice of flourless chocolate cake and I'll go, that guy's not a bad guy. Really? It's not that bad of a guy. But I will spend an inordinate amount of time imagining them dying and being like, yeah, that's good. Because I think when you detox from sugar and you start working out, I did the treadmill the other day, you gotta up your levels of compassion. Because when you're a fat slob, it's very easy to just have compassion because you're like, I'm a fat slob and everyone else is a fat slob. And I don't care and I don't require anything. But if you're an in shape, fit person and you care about yourself, you walk around the world and sometimes you look at people that aren't caring about themselves. And I don't mean necessarily only in looks, but I mean in any way. And you just get angry at them. And you're like, these people don't have the level of discipline that I have. And it makes you angry. You know, that's why a lot of those people that are in shape are like dicks because they're right. It just is what it is. It's like, so you got to do something that opens up your fucking, ability to be compassionate.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really do anything to stay in shape. Really, you're not really in shape. You're just thin.
No, I just take long walks.
Yeah.
I just kind of aimlessly wander around. I don't do anything on purpose.
Do you ever see yourself as like a fit guy, like getting in the gym? Building it up.
I hate changing out of clothes to go get sweaty and then have to take a shower and get back in regular clothes and all that shit. I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a whole lifestyle that you have to you do have to really just go wholeheartedly into.
You have to get addicted to it.
You got to get addicted.
Yeah, you have to make it where it's like, oh, I feel terrible if I don't run 5 miles.
It's true, man, and a lot of people do. Like a lot of people. If they don't exercise, they feel like they haven't changed their clothes. They haven't showered. They feel like they haven't brushed their teeth. They feel incomplete. I want to be one of those people. I want to feel like that. I want to have that relationship with my body. I feel like once I lose weight, I'll get cancer. I feel like that. Like once I lose weight, I'll immediately get cancer because my body won't know. Like
what's going on?
This is how powerful sugar is. Sometimes sugar will say in my own head, it'll go, I'm the only thing keeping you alive. And I'll believe it. I'll be like, you're probably right. Like sugar will go, if you get rid of me, you're dead. You're not going to exist anymore. That's how tough it is, man. It's tough to change behavior. It's one of the hardest things in the world to do, to change your behavior. It's very tough. And that's why people don't succeed at what they want to do is because they're unable to say to themselves, I have to change. And once I change, I got to kick all these people in my life out that haven't changed. And that's unfortunate, but you got to do it. It's like when you're a drug addict and you get sober, you don't go to a crack house. Can you imagine that? Imagine a sober guy still hanging out at the crack house, just looks nice. He's got new clothes, feels good. He just shows up to the crack house. He's like, hey, guys, what are you doing? They're like, we're smoking a rock. That's what we do. And you sit on the couch like, yeah, I remember that. And you're still trying to talk to them as they're all cracked out and twitching. And,
yeah.
You're blending the money.
Mm-hmm. You're drinking milk, just trying to talk about the weather.
Glass of milk. You're like, you guys want to go to a movie? They're like, what? No, we want to smoke more crack. We don't want to go to a movie. We don't want to change. You've changed. Now get the fuck out of here. Stop showing us what it's like on the other side. That's the thing. Kick them out. The people that aren't changing with you.